forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the Vato speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
It always shocks me when you have, I understand that this is not Gucci Mane or it's not Future. I understand that Peewee Longway is not that level of rapper, but he does have a real fan base.
Right.
He does have projects that people like. He can go on tour. Why not put all your effort into your legal hustle as opposed to allegedly running a criminal operation on the side?
Whoever built the Jonesboro South housing project needs to look over the plans again.
In a May 2013 interview with The Fader, Young Thug gave the world a raw piece of truth, an origin story wrapped in pain and pride.
This parking lot and adjacent yards did not resemble that this afternoon. It looked more like a swimming pool. It was about 3 feet of water collected in this man-made basin. Residents who were literally stranded at their doorsteps told me this happens whenever there's a heavy rain.
Anything you see wrong with me came from my projects, Jonesboro South.
Apparently, the drainage for this area is inadequate. There's simply nowhere for the runoff to go, so it stays and ruins cars and whatever else is left in the parking lot.
That same housing project didn't just shape Young Thug. It would also give rise to another star in Atlanta's trap underworld, Lamont Peewee Longway Williams.
Not to mention any small child could drown here. Atlanta housing officials were on the scene by the time we got there. Pumps were working overtime trying to drain the lake, and workmen said several ditches they dug should alleviate the problem. The residents of this housing project hope so. From Jonesboro South, Ernie Bjorkman, Action News.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
Distributor.
Hey, how hard you think it is for a nigga who already was having paper, able to get paper out the street, to be just 100% focused on the music?
Yeah, speak on that.
And putting
Speak
out
on that.
music and shit.
Say that one more time.
Bruh, come on with the game.
How hard is it for a nigga that's like...
What if I told y'all the most painful trade-off in life is not even about success or failure, but it's between a gift that you might carry and the path that you end up on? Now, see, the gift is undeniable, something that's deep inside of you, natural, and impossible to teach. It's the part of you in a way that feels effortless. But as most of us know, and some of us are still learning, life doesn't always make space for what comes naturally. And a lot of times, instead, it'll lay out a different route, one that feels maybe more secure, more immediate, or show results maybe faster. So a lot of people take that route. Then you get good at it, some even great. And as the time goes by, the thing that you were truly gifted at gets pushed into the background, kind of like a pot moved to the back aisle on the stove, not stirred as much as it should be. And eventually, your success in one area overshadows your potential in another. And most of the times, the world is only left with a brief look at what you were truly meant to do.
Get in the middle if I hadn't. Turn to the right, man. Cut, bro. You far from me.
I'm late for my own show. What's up with the timing, man? Tell me something about yourself, guys. Tell me something about yourself, man.
Oh, it's Thomas. I like your house. Your chop house.
Pandora. Office, motherfucker.
Where are we headed right now?
Downtown Atlanta, motherfucker.
And by the way, bro, all the niggas folks on the east side too, bro, on the radio, bro.
So who they say from the east side?
They said you from the east side.
Crazy as fuck.
Bringing the whole east side with them, huh?
Yeah, I gotta let the camera know this shit got me fucked up, man. Long way in front of motherfucking east side, man. John vs. South, man. Zone 3 area, man. Atlanta, Georgia, man. Fuck you. West side, nigga, bright motherfucker, right?
3 minutes. And busted a bottle from it. It's safe to say he owns this town.
Where beneath the friendly country fried drawl lurks an underbelly of ghetto boys-esque darkness and violence. Where a demented midget can screech, "I'm straight out of the mud," to an adoring crowd.
Yeah, bad don't like, nigga. Edit that shit in your mic, nigga. 28 grams, nigga. Edit shit down. I start my day on 3 different drugs. Molly, gasoline. I start my day on 3 How you be on the ups? Molly, gasoline. Yo, lady, what you be on? When you walking out your old lady, ask you what you want, what you gonna tell her? Yo, we trapping, geek the fuck up. Molly, gasoline. I believe that I can fly. I you bitches know that I'm cool. This ain't no video camera. Do it on every time, do it. Chopper spitting like a loop. Oh my god, man, nigga. Salute. My niggas go shoot. I'm a rich. Everything down in there came out the pie. Just for those certain jobs. Got a career hustle like T.I.P. about the same gun. Look at this bitch on the double gun. That boy right there. Scrapping and rapping it. Put it in there. That boy right there. OG ain't no L. That boy right there. Give a fuck where you from. Edit what you don't like, nigga. Edit what you don't like, nigga. Yeah. Yes, marijuana average. This ain't no special. Yeah. Edit what you don't like, nigga. Edit what you don't like, man.
Let it play, let the song play from the top. Play it from the first verse. This shit hard though. Walking the bendo, see bricks on the table. Trap out the back. Yo. Oh, yeah, that was hard though. Real trust. Shit like that. That shit hard, bro. Oh, damn. You got half on the wall right here. That motion, man. What you mean? Ain't nobody gonna be on the side of the wall. You got with the dick, she said, with the drip at your toes. But now ice on my neck froze. Blue with the lens on me snapping. She came right in with the strappy tackle. Full trust spot like Monopoly. I wasn't hustling, man. I was a school guy, man. Going to school, handling my business, man. You know.
You 100% legal. You were good.
Yeah.
Doing everything by the book.
Doing it by the book, man. Make sure it happen.
Okay.
Coming for nothing but 36 birdies. Them birdies for all of you idiots.
Vlad would say that Peewee wasn't a Future or Gucci Mane type artist. And on the surface, that comment sounds pretty accurate because Peewee didn't really hit Billboard charts. He didn't have a string of radio hits or didn't become a household name. I'ma try to explain to y'all why not, and why when you examine what he actually accomplished, it might be just as impressive. But I want to try to start from the beginning of it.
Yeah, so Peewee Longway got out of prison like, what was that, 2008. Right after I got shot in the tailbone, Peewee came home. And J Futuristic was hot at the time, J Money. Mm-hmm. He was hot at the time with the first name, last name record. And just the futuristic takeover, Young LA, all that. That was like the A&I and Trapper of the Year and all that. So when he came home, we was already cooling, doing us. And we got Duke and Jeff and Wicked, and we started managing them.
Right, and Jeff is Young Thug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Lil Jeff. We got Thug, because him and it was like Lil Jeff and Mike. That was Cash Out and Young Thug, but everybody was just calling them by their names at first. Everybody was just getting they rap name right there. And we wasn't rapping. Me and Longway wasn't rapping, but we was like, we around it so much. Let's pay for some studio time, shoot a couple videos. Let's just see where this shit goes. And we still didn't have a name for the label for like probably like a year. And Pee-wee's brother called home from prison like, man, it's money, bricks, and ammunition. We having that shit, nigga. NBA, right? And we like, well, we don't fuck with bricks. They like, we running with that, Cap. So Lee came up, Cap, Longway big brother, he came up with the name for MPA. So we running with that money, pounds of ammo.
Right.
And yeah, that's where it started.
As Brick Baby would describe the era of artists in Atlanta before somebody like Peewee Longway, when Atlanta was going through the futuristic era with guys like Young LA and J Futuristic, Travis Porter, Roscoe Dash, just to name a few. About 5 to 6 years after his alleged release from prison, Peewee Longway's actual breakout moment would come on his debut in 2014 with the release of the Blue M&M. Just flashing back to anyone that was around, if you hadn't heard the project, you probably definitely seen the cover, as it was on some just wild shit with a blue M&M holding a gun like in front of a trap house, just on some other shit. And the project wouldn't be rolled out by a major label, and it didn't have a marketing campaign, as it would come out of nowhere, or not even a radio strategy. But what Peewee had from the start was a cast of rising stars. Young Thug, who he would allegedly know possibly from their time in Jonesboro South, a up-and-coming Migos group before the fame on multiple tracks, along with Jose Guapo, and the production he would line up for that project might even be better than the list of features that he would have, with names like Zaytoven, a not yet household name, Metro Boomin, Willa Fool, K.E. on the track, Done Deal, and that's really just to name a few. And to me, that would become more than a debut mixtape for Peewee's career. It was more like a cultural statement or the beginning of the new transformation. One of the earliest artists after that wave of T.I., Jeezy, and Gucci to show the world what modern Atlanta trap was becoming. And after that, he would pretty much go on a decade-long run. After the release of the Blue M&M in 2014, he would release Part 2 in 2015. Mr. Blue Benjamin and Longway Sinatra in 2016 take 17 off to come back with 3 projects in 2018, State of the Art, Blue M&M 3, and Spaghetti Factory. Then you have Longway Sinatra 2 in 2020 and the Blue M&M 4 in 2021. And throughout his entire career, as I've been tuned in since like the start, Peewee is definitely one of those artists that I could say that never really chased the trends, kind of set the tone with his lingo. Also, while some may look at it as a negative thing, he would never really change his sound to conform to the masses or the mainstream. And during a time when Atlanta was spitting out artists as fast as you can blink, with guys like YC with Racks on Racks and Cash Out with Cash Out, they would be part of a wave of artists who had like one major moment and disappeared just as quickly as they came. But Peewee would come right after YC would drop Racks in 2011 and Cash Out would drop Cash Out in 2012. He would never have the chart success that those artists would have, but he would have something a little bit more rare, consistency. And not saying that he's better by any means, but my last point that I have to try to convince y'all that what Peewee did is probably just as impressive as the career of a Gucci Mane or Future is he would do it all without the help of a major label. No Atlantic Records, no Epic, no Interscope rollout, no radio campaigns, no multi-million-dollar marketing push. Besides the few projects that he would collaborate on with Gucci Mane that would be released under 1017 Records, the entirety of his music was either released and distributed by Empire or through his own MPA Bandcamp imprint. And in my eyes, the main reason he probably didn't reach the success of those artists that I mentioned, though he might have been gifted, he was too successful at something else, hence his legal troubles that I'll break down shortly. And some people want to know how he was so crafty or shifty during that Vlad interview. That was easy because he's been getting asked the same questions since the start.
How hard you think it is for a nigga who already was having paper, able to get paper out the street, to be just 100% focused on the music?
Yeah, speak on that.
And putting
Speak
out
on that.
music and shit.
Say that one more time.
Bruh, come on with the game.
How hard is it for a nigga that's like
already
on
was
some
a
trap
boss
or
before
die
the music
shit, getting all his money out of the street, to kick the habit and to focus strictly on music, being as how difficult it is to try to do both and be successful without getting caught up in either one of the two?
You know, I'm gonna answer that because everybody trap, so we all trap. So by me being one of them trap persons,
yeah, cause nigga, yeah, cause you were like
trapped.
heavy in the game.
We all
like,
trap. No, you just trap. We all trap. You know what I'm saying? You trap too. I see you every day.
Yeah,
you out here with me.
Yeah, for sure.
But shit, you know, doing my little journey, I can't say what nobody else can do, but I did the same thing Black did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep back and cool it, man. Stay focused.
I'm saying, how hard is this shit? Like, how hard is it? Like, I know
it's very,
I done
very
said,
hard. Especially
difficult.
if you got motion.
And yeah, if you successful in this already.
But it ain't hard if you got
ambition.
If this is something that can feed all of us in right here, I
with
take
no
it,
risk.
Yeah, I go this route. It ain't so. I find it on being hard.
So, question for both of y'all. So, how difficult or easy is it to convert from the street life to music, and can you do both?
That's a very good question. I would like to say,
normally, Peewee would do everything to dodge this question, but to anybody listening, especially anybody getting into music, pay attention, because it might have to do with your career and a lot what I have to say about Peewee's.
No, to answer your question, you know what I'm saying, due to the fact that I'm a living witness. So whoever want to be in the streets and making and rapping, it's not a good idea to go to the streets.
In September of 2024, news will come out that Peewee Longway was involved in one of the biggest drug busts in Georgia's history. News outlets from Complex to Vice would cover the story, and I'm not sure if his lyrics or his reputation preceded him, but those initial allegations would turn out to be false. Peewee would not be one of the 100 plus people indicted. However, he would be arrested during a separate operation, one where a guy by the name of Francisco Ivan Cortez Camargo would be named as the leading defendant, with Peewee allegedly linked to a phone call supposedly arranging a deal for 20 bricks of methamphetamine and 20 bricks of cocaine. After authorities would raid Peewee's house, they would allegedly find thousands of fentanyl pills and firearms. I couldn't personally find any records showing that charges were filed against Peewee or even that the lead defendant in the conspiracy was ever prosecuted. So I'm not sure what's going on with that case. But Peewee's career and legal troubles should be a lesson for anybody coming up in the music industry, that at some point you might have to make a choice at whatever you're naturally gifted at, whether that's music, art, business, or whatever it may be, against whatever is tempting you, whether that's the streets, bitches, and in this day and age, even clout. I'm not sure what the outcome of Peewee's current legal situation will be, but looking at how consistent he was throughout his career and seeing how successful he was in whatever else he was doing, you could only imagine how far he could have gone if he put his full energy into one of those, either El Chapo or Jay-Z. Y'all hit the red bell and subscribe button below so y'all know when this real trill spill shit is dropping. Y'all definitely get in the comment box to let me know what y'all think about Peewee's career. If I got it wrong, and y'all take on everything, y'all definitely get down there and let me know what cities we need to go to, what stories we need to tell, what we missed, what we got wrong, all of that. Y'all tapping with me directly on Instagram, Twitter, POP_A_LOT. And until our next run, y'all know how we rocking. Shades Popalot. Salute the almighty MOBB.